Hi everyone, welcome to today's tutorial where we'll be demonstrating some of the advanced feature editing capabilities in Simple GIS Client. So specifically in this tutorial, we'll be demonstrating creating holes and polygons, intersecting polygon features, subtracting polygons one from another, splitting a polygon into multiple features, modifying shared feature boundaries using the node move function, clipping lines to other features, using the line fillet function, extending lines to other feature boundaries, and also using the offset line function. So to begin, I have a simple GIS client project I've created, and of course I have many different layers loaded into this particular project. But in particular, I have three shapefiles I've loaded for the purpose of this demonstration. This is a point shapefile, a line shapefile, and also a polygon shapefile. So to begin, I'm going to toggle editing on for each of these layers, so I can select the active layer and go to the layer edit menu and select toggle edit, or alternatively I can simply right click on the layer and select toggle edit from the right click menu. So to begin with, we're going to first be working with our polygon features and demonstrating some of the advanced editing functionality around polygons. So I'm going to start by coming to my layer edit menu toolbox and select add polygon feature, and I'm just going to click and drag to create a polygon and then double click to complete it. And for this first demonstration, this is my overall polygon that I'm going to create. So I'm going to demonstrate creating a polygon with holes in it. So to begin with, I added a polygon feature that represents the outermost ring of the polygon. So this is the feature that will be the outermost boundary edge of my polygon. And now I'm going to simply add additional polygon features inside of this larger polygon where I want the holes to appear. So again, I'm just using the polygon edit tool, and what I'm doing, I'm actually drawing additional polygon features. And right now these are all separate features, so I have three separate polygon features. And what I want to do is combine this into a single polygon feature with the holes. So I'm going to go back to my layer edit menu, and now I'm going to select the edit feature tool. And I'm just going to click and drag a box to select all three of these polygon features. And now from my layer edit menu, I'm going to go to it and go almost to the bottom and select merge features. And when I do, I get a confirmation asking if I want to delete the original features, which in this case I do because I'm replacing it with a new polygon feature. And when I select yes, I see that I now have my new polygon feature with the holes cut out from within the center of the polygon. So that is all you have to do to create a polygon with holes in it. And in fact, I can add additional rings in my polygon. So I can come back to my layer edit toolbox, and I'm going to select add polygon feature again, and I'm going to draw a new polygon feature inside the hole of this existing polygon. And now if I select edit feature again and select these two polygon features, and now merge these into a single polygon. And yes, I am going to delete the originals and replace them with this new polygon. I now have a single polygon. Let me just move this attribute box out of the way. When I click on it, you'll see it flash. I have this single polygon feature with holes, and then within this one hole I have another ring that represents an island within that hole. And I can demonstrate this if I just simply go to my point shapefile, and if I add some actual point features. So I'm going to go to my layer edit menu, and I'm going to add a point feature, one inside the island, one inside the hole, another in the other hole, and then one inside the larger polygon. And now I'm going to toggle editing off momentarily, just so that's easier to see. So as I toggle editing off, and I'm going to come up here and use my select feature tool to select my polygon feature that I created. And now I'm going to go back to my point shapefile, and I'm going to run a spatial query And what I want to do is select features that are contained in the selected features of my test polygon shapefile. And when I click apply, and I'm going to go back to my test polygon and clear my selection so I can see all of the point features that were selected. And I see that in fact the 2 points, the one inside the island and the one inside the larger polygon, were selected as being contained in the polygon. The two that were inside of the holes that we created were not selected. So I see that it does honor that geometry, that we have in fact created a polygon feature with multiple holes, and in fact one that has an island within a hole. So I'm just going to toggle editing back on for now. And then I'm going to turn the point feature layer off. And now I'm going to go back to my test polygon layer. So moving on to our next demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and select my test polygon layer, and I'm going to just delete this polygon feature that we just created. So I'll select my delete features and just select the polygon to remove it. And now I'm going to go back, and for this one let's go ahead and maybe try a rectangle shape. And now I'm going to add a elliptical polygon, and I'm just going to intersect the two, kind of overlapping one on top of the other. And so what I want to demonstrate in this next feature is actually returning the intersection of two polygons. So I have my two polygons. I have one that's just a square or rectangle shape, and one that's an elliptical shape. And I'm going to select my edit feature tool so that I can click and drag to select both polygons. And now with both polygons selected, I'm going to go to my layer edit menu and select intersect features. And again, I get a confirmation if I want to delete the original features, which I do. And as I do that, I see that the new polygon is the result of the overlap or the intersecting areas between the two polygons that were selected. And if I do my layer edit undo and bring back the original polygons, I can see that. And so now for the next edit, if I just start back with my rectangle feature again, and now I'm going to go and I'm going to draw a new elliptical polygon feature. I'll just make this one a little bit longer. And so now I have my rectangular feature and then my elliptical feature. And the order of your features in your shapefile is important in doing these operations. So it starts actually with the first feature in your shapefile. So if I do my edit feature and select the two polygon features, and if I was to do a subtract feature, what you're going to see is it's going to subtract the second feature from the first feature, or return the difference by removing the area of overlap of the second feature with the first feature. So that's what I mean. The order is important in doing these operations. And if I actually go to my layer edit and do the subtract polygons, I can see that it did subtract the elliptical polygon feature, which was the second feature that I had added, from the first feature, which was the rectangular box. And so I can see that you can do a lot of, it's really union operations between polygons using your layer edit menu, either merging polygon features, returning the intersection of features, or subtracting or returning the difference. So once again, before I move on to the next demonstration, I'm going to delete this polygon. And I'm going to go ahead and add a new polygon feature, and I'm just going to start by clicking to add vertices and then double clicking to complete. And the next function I want to show is actually splitting an existing polygon feature into multiple features. And so this option is found under the feature edit toolbox. And you click on the drop down, go almost to the bottom. It's called split polygon feature. And notice if you select this tool, there are hints that are given in the lower left corner of your map in the status bar. So in this case, I see I have a hint that says draw line to split polygon. So in this case, this particular tool is just wanting me to draw a line through this polygon, which will be used to split the polygon into separate features, which I can see that it actually did. And so if I use my feature identify button and click on this, I see that I actually have two separate polygon features now in my shapefile, as it broke this polygon based upon the line that I drew through the polygon. So now I have these two polygon features that have a common boundary between them. And if I wanted to edit this boundary in any way, as I can see, it's kind of through this zigzag line, one way is to simply go to my right-click menu on my map and scroll down till I see Edit Vertex. And if I select this option, and then when I select Edit Feature from my Feature Edit menu, and I see my vertices, if I click and drag one, I see that I edit the vertex for that one polygon feature, but my second polygon feature still has this original shape. So if this was actually a shared boundary, I would see that I would need to edit both features to match the new location. So let me just, I'm going to go back to my layer edit menu and undo this operation. So a better way, if I actually wanted to modify a shared boundary between two features and modify both features simultaneously, is from the right-click menu, go to the node move function. And it works just like the vertex edit, except when I click and drag a vertex, it actually knows or detects that that is a common vertex between multiple features, and it will actually modify both features simultaneously. So that if I have this boundary between these features, I can easily modify that boundary. So let me just remove this polygon now, because this not only involves shared boundaries between features in the same layer, but it can also involve boundaries between features in separate layers. So for instance, I have this other shapefile of natural features, and I have this water feature displayed on my map. And I'm actually going to make my natural features my snap target. So I'm going to turn snapping on, and I want to snap to the vertex of features in this natural features shapefile. So now I'm going to go back to my test polygon shapefile that I'm modifying. And now I'm going to add a new polygon feature. And as I click and add this feature, and as I move over this water feature that's in this natural features, I see that it's actually snapping to the vertices in this feature. So I'm actually creating a polygon that shares a boundary with this pond. And so I see that it has, in fact, snapped to the vertices along that edge of the pond. So I'm going to disable snapping for now and turn it off. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how, if I edit this boundary. So I'm going to go to my right-click menu on my map and go down to my node move function again, select it, and now from my feature edit menu, I want to select the edit feature and select the polygon I want to edit, and I see the vertices appear. And notice now, and again, I'm doing the node move function just for clarity. If I was to click and drag on one of these vertices on my polygon, I get a new dialog confirmation that comes up and says that it detected this is a shared vertex with this natural feature shapefile, but my natural features is not in an edit state. Do I want to toggle editing on natural features and update the shared vertex? And so if I confirm this by clicking yes, it will actually turn the editing on for natural features, and it will go ahead, as indicated by this red X, and it will also modify this water feature that it detected is a shared boundary with my polygon feature. And so it will go ahead and modify both features. So now if I go back to my polygon and I just continue to move these vertices, it'll update this water feature in natural features. And notice I didn't get the confirmation box again, since I'd got it already, and natural features is already in an edit state now. so it did not give me the confirmation box the second time. And so again, that's the node move function, and it's just a powerful way to be able to edit features that have common boundaries. So now we're going to move to our line shapefile, and I'm going to demonstrate some of those functions, but to begin with I'm going to add a couple of new line features. So I went to my feature edit menu tool, drop down, and I selected add polyline feature, and so I'm just going to add a couple of different polyline features. I'll add one that kind of passes through this way, and then maybe that'll be good for now at least. So the first function I want to demonstrate is the trim line feature. So I select trim line, and notice when I do, again, look in the lower left corner of your map in the status bar for a hint of what it's expecting. So in this case, it's asking me to select the cutting edge feature. This can be features in the current shapefile that intersect the feature you're wanting to trim. So for instance, if I select this line as the cutting edge, I can then look at my hint, and now it's asking me to select line features to trim. So I've selected my cutting edge, and now all I need to do is click on the line that I want to trim on the side of the cutting edge that I want to trim. So in this case, this line is the intersecting line with my cutting edge, and when I click on this side, I see that it actually trims that line to the boundary of that cutting edge. And so that is the trim line function. But please note, it doesn't have to be features in the same shapefile. So if I was to go back and select my trim line feature tool again, and it's asking me to select cutting edge features. Now if I make my polygon the active layer, and then I click to draw a box to select the polygon, and now it's asking me to select line features to trim, I can go back and make my line shapefile the active layer. And for instance, if I wanted to trim the line internal to the polygon, I can just simply click on the line, and now I see that it did in fact trim the line and break it at the boundary edge of the polygon, removing the part that was internal to the polygon. So it actually broke the line into two parts in that case. And so that is the trim line feature function. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add another line feature. So I'm just going to simply click to add a vertex, and I'll double click to complete the line. And I'll use this new line feature to demonstrate the line fillet function. So again, from my feature edit tool, I go down from the drop box and select the fillet line features tool. And once again, I need to look at my hint at the lower left in my status pane. It says select first line feature. So I'm going to click on one line, and now it's asking me to select second line feature. And I'll click on this line. And then it asks me to enter a radius. And so what it'll do is it'll cause these two lines to extend to their join point, and the radius is just the radius of the join itself between the two functions, the corner. So if I leave it set to 0, I see that it extended the lines till they meet, and it has a radius of 0, so it just squares off the corner. And so that's the fillet function. And if I was to go to my layer edit menu and undo this operation, and let me go back and repeat this operation to show you what happens when I enter a radius. So I'll select my first line feature, and then I'll select my second line feature, and at this point I'm going to enter a radius of 50. And now when I click OK, I see that it causes the two lines to extend to join, but it also rounds off that corner by the given radius. And so that is the line fillet function. And so now, before we proceed to our next demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit by deleting these line features that we just operated on. So we're going to be demonstrating the extend line feature and then the offset line feature function to wrap up our demonstration. So to begin with, I'm going to add a few more polyline features. So I've got my add polyline feature tool selected, and so then I'm just going to simply click to begin my line, double click to finish it, to add a couple of new line features to my map here. So maybe one more here. And so now we'll demonstrate our next function, which is extend line feature, which again is under the feature edit tool. And as I select that tool, again I get a hint in my status panel. It says select boundary edge feature. And so again, this can be features in the same shapefile, so it could be in another line in this line shapefile. So if I click on this line, next it says select line feature to extend in my hint in my status panel. So if I click on this line, I see that it actually extends that line to the boundary of the line I selected as my boundary edge feature. But again, it doesn't have to be features in the same shapefile. So for instance, if I select my extend line feature function, and when it asks me to select boundary edge feature, if I make railways my active layer and I'm actually clicked on this railway feature to make that my boundary edge, and I'll go back to my line shapefile that I'm working in and click on the line I want to extend, I see that it actually extends to the boundary of that railway feature I had selected. And just like it doesn't have to be features in the same layer, your boundary edge doesn't have to be other polygons as well. So again, if I select extend line feature, and now for my boundary edge, I'm going to make my natural features my active layer and select this water feature polygon as my boundary edge. When I go back to my line shapefile, make it active by clicking on it, and then click on the line feature, I see that it extends the line I selected to the boundary of that polygon. And so that is the extend line feature function. So that leaves us with one more function that we'll demonstrate here today. And this function is the offset line. And what this function allows you to do is offset a selected line feature by a specified distance on one side or the other of the selected line. So again, when I select the tool, my hint says select line feature to offset. So if I click on this line feature, and then it asks me to enter the offset distance in feet. So if I put 50 in this case and click OK, my hint now says select side to offset to. And I just simply click on the side of the line in the direction I want it to offset. So if I click to the left of the line, in this case I see that it adds a new line feature offset by that specified distance. Again, if I was to select this line again, enter my offset distance, and now click on the right side, I see that it offsets the line to the right hand side by that specified distance. And so this concludes today's demonstration. I hope this was helpful. Again, intended to just give you an introduction to some of the advanced feature editing capabilities in Simple GIS Client. And so I think you see that there are quite a few advanced editing features available to you. And of course, as always, for more information, please visit the website. It's located at www.simplegissoftware.com. Thank you.